Being a fan of Yellowstone is not easy. You're thrilled that the series is back 1 minute, and then you're wondering how in the world it will finish. After his cameo-filled appearance last week, creator Taylor Sheridan thankfully chose to be positive. The author allowed viewers to luxuriate in almost everything they had a sneaking suspicion would happen in the Season 5 final. In summary, Jamie, Wes Bentley, is killed by Beth, Kelly Riley, and the Dutton family rescues the ranch. A spin-off starring the Dutton daughter and Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser, seems inevitable as they invariably inquire about what will happen next. Although Paramount has not yet officially announced the news, that could change at any time. We've already gone from a possible sequel starring Matthew McConaughey to Kevin Costner's character dying in his own bathtub in only a few months. The Madison, a follow-up series that stars Michelle Pfeiffer and Matthew Fox from Lost as members of a new family, the Cliburns, has also taken the place of McConaughey's Dutton appearance. Who the hell are the Cliburns? That announcement had already raised a lot of questions about Yellowstone's future. Luke Grimes, Kayce Dutton, believes that a 6th season is illogical. The actor tells Esquire, "I'd do it, but I just don't understand how it would work once the story ends." Kayce wants to be content with his family and cowboy. He no longer desires to murder people. He doesn't want to bear the burden of a massive, unsustainable mega ranch in the modern era. His small piece of heaven is what he desires. It really is that easy. According to current billing, the Dutton family saga comes to an end with the Season 5 final. Is Yellowstone being honest with you? Watch the full video to learn everything we know about Yellowstone Season 6. Possibly. Season 6 was cancelled in favor of a successor series, which was supposed to star Matthew McConaughey, according to a previous announcement from Paramount. McConaughey never formally committed to the movie for whatever reason, and Slash or Paramount took another course. A few members of the Yellowstone cast, who are not Kevin Costner, are currently being considered by the network for a possible comeback in a future spin-off series. Any show with returning cast members should be viewed as Season 6 by viewers. According to reports, Taylor Sheridan, the creator of the series, is also working on a prequel spin-off that takes place in 1944. John Dutton died tragically in the Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 opener. Costner left the series because of a conflict between Paramount and the main patriarch. He is now working on the Horizon Western film franchise. In order to eliminate his persona inside the first 5 minutes, Sheridan organized an assassination. John Dutton's children are left to pick up the pieces and go on while he lies dead in his toilet. Since her brother Jamie, Wes Bentley, stated prior to the breakup that he intended to kill both his sister and their father Beth, really, understandably accuses him of committing the killing. But Jamie isn't entirely to fault. The hit was executed by his nasty lover, Sarah Atwood, Dawn Oliveri. Atwood's future wasn't particularly promising, but Beth, her brother Kayce, and her husband Rip have optimism. Although Yellowstone fans are unable to bring John Dutton back to life, the final gave the Dutton family a lovely ending. The ranch was bought by Thomas Rainwater, Gil Birmingham, who established it as a wildlife sanctuary. The Native American reservation now includes the Dutton family ranch, where Kayce and his family may care for a small herd. A new ranch outside of Dillon, Montana, was also purchased by Beth and Rip. Sheridan did a pretty good job of wrapping things up. 1923 Season 2 was the only new project near Yellowstone that was hinted about in the Season 5 final. It is up to Sheridan to determine whether there is more to the story. All we need is for Paramount to formally inform us of what is happening. Kevin Costner's departure prevented the Yellowstone franchise from having a proper Season 6, but the tale will go on thanks to Kayce Dutton's, Luke Grimes, recently announced CBS series and Beth's, Kelly Riley, and Rip's, Cole Hauser, Yellowstone spin-off. As John Dutton Ioy, the proprietor of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, Costner was the heart and spirit of the historic series. After failing to come to an agreement with the show's creators, Kevin Costner did not return to the series for Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, and the choice was surrounded by controversy in the final chapter. Nevertheless, Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 did several things correctly. With Kayce selling the property to the Broken Rock tribe and returning to East Camp with Tate, Brecken Merrill, and Monica, Kelsey as Bill, both of John's children had happy endings. Another notable ending for Beth and Rip was their move to a ranch west of Dillon, Montana. Although Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14's final moments between Kayce and Beth would have been fantastic epilogues that actually mark the beginning of something new. However, taken as a whole, the spin-offs will resemble Yellowstone Season 6. Without him, Kevin Costner's 7-season plan for Yellowstone would not have been possible. Therefore, the 6th season would have most likely focused on Kayce and Beth's independent life. That can now be replaced by their independent shows. A casting contract revealed ahead of the Yellowstone Season 5 conclusion that Rayleigh and Hauser would return as Beth and Rip in a Yellowstone spin-off, most likely in lieu of Season 6. With Beth starting to use her degree in economics to figure out how to make ranching successful, Season 5 provided us a wonderful sense of what it will be about. Although Beth can use everything she's learned to help her husband with his surgery, Yellowstone Season 6 wouldn't have been replaced with a spin-off for the couple alone. But according to the CBS story regarding Kayce's Yellowstone spin-off, screenwriter Taylor Sheridan will cover every possible scenario for John's children's future. Yellowstone Season 6 would have been based on that, so fans who watch Beth's and Kayce's shows, respectively, will receive a full picture of Montana life following the passing of John Dutton IE and the sale of the ranch to Thomas Rainwater, Gil Birmingham. Due to Beth and Kayce's inability to pay the hefty inheritance tax that forced them to sell the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, the Yellowstone tale would not have been able to continue after Costner's departure. Consequently, in Yellowstone Season 6, their stories would have been fundamentally distinct. Of course, Kayce Dutton had the option to join Beth and Rip's spin-off. But in Yellowstone Season 5, I thought Kayce was preparing for something bigger than that, something even greater than managing the ranch to pass on to Tate. Kayce will get his moment on the CBS show, and Beth and Rip will have plenty of room to tell their story. A continuation focused on Kayce is necessary, particularly in light of the manner he stepped up in the last chapter. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11, 353, Kayce excelled by using his authority as livestock commissioner to take control of the medical examiner's office and have his father's death reopened as a homicide. Instead of attempting to keep up with Beth's brother, the CBS show will give Kayce his moment and offer Beth and Rip plenty of room in their narrative. However, the siblings are near enough to occasionally cross over. It was time to conclude the original Yellowstone series and preserve its greatest surviving elements in spin-offs, particularly in light of the conflicting reviews given to Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2. Rayleigh, Grimes, and Hauser were all eager to keep their Yellowstone characters alive, even though Costner was unable to return to Yellowstone as John Dutton. It makes more sense to pick up the pieces and start again, rather than attempting to rebuild the show without its soul, John Dutton. The characters are strong enough to support their own shows, even if it was fascinating to watch all of their tales unfold at once. Given that it will be the first Yellowstone spin-off created for broadcast television, I'm curious to see how Kayce Dutton's CBS Yellowstone show is received. Fans of Yellowstone seem to have differing opinions on which of John's children they support, and I wonder if this will affect which spin-off viewers choose to watch. Viewers of both Kayce's offshoot and Beth and Rip's Yellowstone spin-off will fully understand how John Dutton's children are dealing with his passing and their developing narratives, providing a comprehensive picture of the fictitious Yellowstone Season 6. Yellowstone has been one of the most watched television programs since its 2018 debut and a Paramount Network breakout smash. Kevin Costner's career was also reinvigorated by Taylor Sheridan's modern western, which starred him as John Dutton, the patriarch of the Dutton family, who run one of Montana's biggest ranches, the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. Yellowstone's 5th season debuted in 2022, but when it was revealed that Costner was quitting the program and that Paramount Network had already ordered a successor series that would continue without Costner, the show's and the franchise's survival were put into doubt. Here is everything you need to know about Yellowstone's future to keep everyone informed. The remaining Yellowstone Season 5 episodes were supposed to conclude the series till August 2024. It appears, though, that Paramount Network is unwilling to let its most successful program go unnoticed. Negotiations to co-headline a 6th season of Yellowstone with Kelly Rayleigh and Cole Hauser are reportedly underway, according to Deadline. Hauser plays her husband, Rip Wheeler, while Riley plays Beth Dutton. Riley and Hauser have agreed to a new Yellowstone spin-off series instead of extending the existing series with a 6th season, Deadline reported ahead of the Yellowstone series finale. Since neither Beth nor Rip are directly related to the new characters who will be at the core of the second impending Yellowstone spin-off, The Madison, this change makes logical. According to a report by Deadline, series creator Taylor Sheridan is presently working on the next series, which will be called Yellowstone. It will probably feature other cast members from the Mothership series alongside Riley and Hauser, the publication added. There is currently no set date for when the new series will start filming, and no further cast members have been announced. We do know one thing though, Kevin Costner will not return in any form. It is not anticipated that Luke Grimes will join Hauser and Riley in the upcoming spin-off. But Paramount may have different plans for Grimes. CBS is creating a spin-off series centered on Kayce Dutton from Grimes, according to Puck's Matt Belloni. Distinct from the Riley-Hauser offshoot, this will be a procedural. According to a later claim by Deadline, Spencer Hudnut of the SEAL team was involved in the Kayce spin-off. McConaughey is reportedly in talks to feature in the Yellowstone spin-off series, according to every story since February 2023. The fact that McConaughey has finalized his contract has not yet been confirmed. Puck stated in February 2024 that McConaughey would not sign a contract until he had seen the spin-off script. It would be McConaughey's first major TV role since HBO's 2014 premiere of True Detective, assuming he accepts a contract. At this stage of their respective careers, McConaughey's star power may also surpass Costner's. McConaughey is not working on any Yellowstone spin-offs as of April 2025. The Madison is now the first show's official name. Along with that piece of information comes the first synopsis of the show, which is described as a heartfelt study of grief and human connection, and follows a New York City family in the Madison River Valley of central Montana. Although it doesn't yet have a name, the direct Yellowstone spin-off, which stars Kelly Reilly and Cole Hauser, will contain the word Yellowstone in its title. Indeed, according to Variety, series creator Taylor Sheridan and Michelle Pfeiffer will co-executive produce and star in The Madison. Stacy Cliburn will be portrayed by Pfeiffer. Chris McCarthy, co-CEO of Paramount Global, recognized the announcement in a statement, saying, "Michelle Pfeiffer is a marvelous talent who infuses every role with emotional depth, authenticity, and grace. She is the ideal fulcrum for Taylor Sheridan's magnificent new chapter of the Yellowstone world, The Madison." McConaughey's name was not mentioned, and he has been noticeably absent from the most recent series updates. Puck originally revealed Pfeiffer's participation with the movie in February 2024, stating that the actress was negotiating to co-star with McConaughey in the Yellowstone spin-off. The Madison, the cast of the Yellowstone spin-off, is finally getting together after months of seemingly inactive work. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Patrick J. Adams, who starred in Suits, has agreed to a leading part opposite Pfeiffer. The character that Adams will portray is Russell McIntosh, who is said to have followed the life path set before him from the start. In this series, Elle Chapman, a film actress with credits in A Man Called Otto and Florida Wild, makes her television debut as Russell's wife and Pfeiffer's character's daughter, Paige McIntosh, a somewhat self-centered woman who indulges in a luxurious New York lifestyle provided by her parents and investment banker husband. Beau Garrett from Firefly Lane has also been cast as Abigail Reese. Although she doesn't seem to be related to the McIntosh family, Abigail is Paige's sister and Pfeiffer's character's second kid. She is a newly divorced single mother who is characterized as a resilient and sardonic New Yorker. Abigail's eldest daughter will be portrayed by Amir Miller. Although it's unclear if he has any connection to the McIntosh family, Lost star Matthew Fox has also been cast in a major part on the show as Paul, a self-reliant bachelor who loves the outdoors. Additional cast members have been revealed, including Danielle Vasanova as Kestrel, an indigenous woman married to a Montana rancher who lives with her family on a double-wide trailer on their ranch, Rebecca Spence as Liliana Weeks, Stacy's friend and a New York City elitist, Kevin Zegers as Cade, Stacy's new neighbor, and Elena Pollack as Macy, Abigail's youngest daughter. Veteran actor Kurt Russell is also in negotiations to join the series, according to a recent Deadline report. Russell, though, was never listed as a cast member. All Yellowstone episodes are available for viewing on Peacock. Yellowstone streams on Peacock rather than Paramount Plus because of an early license agreement. Paramount Plus streams the Yellowstone spin-offs, which include 1883 and 1923. Executive producer Christina Alexandra Voros described the conclusion as an end of an era in a recent interview with Variety. "This final set of episodes, in my opinion, marks the end of an era," Voros stated. "It would be impossible to discuss it in depth without hinting at future developments. However, I believe Taylor Sheridan has accomplished something that feels both shocking and predestined at the same time. I'm not really sure how he did that, but I think it's kind of masterful. To completely comprehend everything that has happened thus far, you must read the story through to the end." According to a February 2023 Deadline article, Costner and the Paramount Network were at odds about his involvement in the filming schedule for Season 5. It stated that Costner's current passion project, the new multi-part Western movie Horizon, was his top priority. The article claims that Costner only had 50 days to shoot the first half of Yellowstone Season 5 because of his obligations to those movies. However, Costner only wanted to spend a week shooting the season's final episodes. The Paramount Network then decided to cancel the series and concentrate on a follow-up. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in June 2023, Sheridan addressed the matter, stating, "My last conversation with Kevin was that he had this passion project he wanted to direct. When he could finish Yellowstone was a point of contention between him and the network. We can definitely work a schedule toward his preferred exit date," I remarked, "and we done so." Sheridan continued, "My assessment of Kevin as an actor hasn't changed. Kevin and I have always been able to resolve our differences over the phone. However, once attorneys are involved, people are unable to communicate with one another, start making false claims, and trying to assign blame based on how the public or media appears to be responding. I'm disappointed because he took a lot of stuff personally, and I don't think anyone deserves it. It cuts short his character's resolution, it truncates it but doesn't change it. Until recently, Costner has not been interviewed on the topic." According to Deadline, Costner's exit from Yellowstone was discussed during his September 2023 divorce proceedings. During his court testimony, Costner stated they wanted to change things somewhere along the line. "Horizon was impacted by their desire to complete 5A and 5B. I intended to finish my film Horizon, leave that show, finish my film, and then move on to B. I was now doing a concert twice a year instead of just once." Costner continued, "We did negotiate. I tried to break the impasse, but there were creative concerns. They left." Costner added that he received a $24 million offer to film seasons 6 and 7 of Yellowstone. Costner also stated that he will probably go to court on his disagreement with Paramount Network. However, as of January 2024, the actor had not filed a lawsuit. Furthermore, it is still unclear if Costner will make a comeback for Yellowstone's last episodes. But according to a Puck News report from Matthew Baloney in March 2024, Costner wants to return for Yellowstone's last season. In his newsletter, Baloney stated, "Kevin Costner has been telling people he's planning to return for at least a cameo and possibly more, but there are currently no discussions for him to do that." Sheridan might not want to bother reopening his completed screenplays to allow a send-off for John Dutton, even if Costner drastically reduces his demands for time and money. Costner himself supported those remarks, stating during the past 3 months that he wants to return to Yellowstone in some way and on his own terms. Even while fresh episodes are being produced in June 2024, Costner continues to praise the show in a conciliatory manner. In an interview with NBC's Today, Costner stated, "I've supported that thing and I've loved it. It has been really significant to me. In the ideal situation, which I believe we all desire, I would adore returning. In my opinion, the proper conditions must exist." Costner went on to say that there's always a chance that he might come back at any time. "I adore the item. You must be really explicit about that." Horizon, Costner's latest Western, is now being promoted. He was incensed about the circumstances and the narrative that have been reported in the media over the past year, according to his May 13 interview with Deadline. I don't want to go into too much detail about Yellowstone, but what I'm telling you is straightforward, Costner stated. Those *****ing men have beaten me, and I understand their perspective a lot of the time. I simply decided not to discuss that. However, if you know me well enough, you know that I prioritize Yellowstone, and it would be incorrect to suggest otherwise. All of those things were not started by me. They did. This poor guy had to write a lot while they were performing a tap dance. And I'm not sure why they didn't defend me. Costner's recent remarks regarding the problems with Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, especially the absence of scripts to shoot, are consistent with his testimony from his divorce trial. Additionally, he clarified the source of the idea that he only planned to work on the season's final episodes for a week. According to Costner, they didn't have the scripts for anything else. In the end, you read that I said, "Look, I'm working on my movie system." They still required 4 more days, even after I worked on Saturday and Sunday. When I assumed we were going to do this so-called B, I provided it to them, but there was no B. I only intended to give them an additional 4 days. Additionally, Costner expressed his annoyance that Sheridan and others failed to defend him in the media during the time these stories were being circulated. "In the world of how you do things, I was bothered by their silence," Costner remarked. "Why don't you defend me? I want to sell you this item. I only intended to do 1 season. I managed to get 3. I completed 3. They asked to do 3 more, so I proceeded from 1 to 3 and then performed a 4th for them. I therefore agreed to do that. They collapsed. My contract required me to perform 5, 6, and 7. That was part of my deal. I couldn't have avoided that, and when we first started, I wasn't even attempting to figure out how. I wanted to do Horizon after we were done. All of this occurred because they closed for an entire season without informing anyone, and I was out of work for 14 months. Costner still states that he is open to returning for the last few episodes, despite the obvious animosity surrounding the argument. Costner declared, "I'm very open to coming back. Maybe this comes back, and it's a really fantastic 2 seasons if they have so many other things going on. Or if I'm satisfied with the writing, stop it. That's fine with me. However, I suffered because these individuals didn't defend me and let wild rumors circulate. That makes me unhappy. However, I will be present if the writing is there." They were in first place, Costner stated. "I was sick of doing Yellowstone, so I didn't do Horizon. That story is bulls ******. Horizon was not my attempt to compete with Yellowstone. I've had this for a very long time. 3 years prior, when he was considering other authors for Yellowstone, Taylor had read that script. Although I don't believe I'm qualified, you can see what John bared, and I did, I remarked. You write Yellowstone so brilliantly, in my opinion. After reading it, he understood the purpose of the matter. It's that easy. 101 studios and Paramount handled this poorly. For 5, 6, and 7, they had me. I consented to do it. After that, they gradually started altering their format. This is the wonderful news that fans of Yellowstone were looking for regarding Costner's comeback to the series. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Costner stated that he wanted to believe that Dutton was in charge of his own destiny. "I've kind of had my own fantasy how the character's final arc might be, and Dutton needs to be proactive in what happens," Costner said. However, that is Taylor's specialty. I told him that some time ago. I had some ideas about how that might occur, but we'll have to wait and see. Does this imply that Costner will return? Not exactly. As previously mentioned in Puck, Sheridan could not be amenable to altering his scripts for the remaining Yellowstone episodes, even if it meant giving the show's star a final farewell. In any case, Costner seems optimistic about the state of affairs. "Though we haven't been able to," Costner added, "I'd like to be able to do it. I thought I was going to make 7 seasons, but right now we're at 5. They've got a bunch of different programs going on, so I'm hoping everything works out. Perhaps it will. Perhaps this will come full circle to me. I would love to do that if it does, and I feel really at ease doing it." An era is coming to an end. The actor spent months praising Yellowstone in the media and stating his readiness to return, even though the writing was on the wall when Season 5 returned without a deal for Costner to return. Costner has already admitted that he is finished with Yellowstone and will not be returning, even though episodes are already being recorded. After a long year and a half of working on Horizon and completing all the necessary tasks, I just wanted to contact out and let you know that I'm still thinking about Yellowstone, that cherished series that I know you adore. On his Instagram account, Costner posted, "I just realized that I'm not going to be able to continue Season 5 or into the future." Costner said, "I just wanted to let you know that I won't be returning because I loved it and I know you loved it. I'll see you at the movies, and I love the relationship we've been able to build." While on SiriusXM's The Michael Smerconish program, Kevin Costner told Michael Smerconish that he heard firsthand what transpired, despite not having seen the first episode of Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2. Costner remarked, "I don't want to rush to see it because I heard it's a suicide." In response, Smerconish stated that John Dutton, played by Costner, didn't seem like the type of man who would commit suicide. "Well, they're pretty smart people," Costner said. "It might be a red herring. Who knows? They are excellent, and they will resolve that." Costner added that he had witnessed his character's face and video being utilized to advertise the upcoming finals. Costner remarked, "I had no idea it was really airing last night. That is a moment of swearing to God. I promise God. I'm not in this season, so I'm thinking, gee, I'm not in that one, but I see advertisements with my face everywhere. However, I have been seeing, but I was unaware that yesterday was the moment. So no, I actually learned about it this morning." According to the program, Sarah Dawn Olivieri hired an unidentified hitman to fake John's death as a suicide at the request of her lover, Jamie Dutton, Wes Bentley, who is John's estranged adopted son. According to Jamie, they only discussed killing John once, but it seems that was plenty to motivate Sarah to take action. And even as Jamie and his sister, Beth, battle for their own futures, the Dutton family might not be able to move past this tragedy. The trailer for Kevin Costner's new film, Horizon, an American saga, was released earlier this week. Later this year, 2 portions of the actor's passion project, which he personally funded, will be released. The Western setting, Costner's portrayal of a tough patriarch protecting his territory, the massive cast of well-known character actors like Will Patton, Giovanni Ribisi, Michael Rooker, Sam Worthington, Gina Malone, Luke Wilson, and many, many more were some of the parallels between Yellowstone that fans couldn't help but notice. Despite having many of the same themes as Yellowstone, the film has nothing to do with the popular television series. Unlike the recent spin-off series 1883 and 1923, which explore the early years of the Dutton line, the film is set during the American Civil War. Despite this, Yellowstone enthusiasts continue to be drawn to the film. Fans of the popular Paramount Network series are eager to watch the films, according to Good Housekeeping. This is understandable considering that Costner has long served as the show's face and primary draw.